This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And today we're going to talk a little Northwest Disc Golf Championship, specifically Yulee, and then a little bit of 18 drama, whole 18 drama, final round. We talk a little rules update, and then maybe a random question. Maybe not. I didn't even think about it yet, but I think I can come up with one. And then I think outside of that, one thing to know is that DoorDisc.com, DoorDiscGolf.com, either one you want to choose will get you to DoorDisc.com, which is our retail site. All the discs you could ever want and all the disc golf stuff you could ever want. And if you want to come in and physically join us, we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And you can go in and visit Matt, with his shiny and smiley face. Well, mostly smiley face, right?
Shiny face.
It's shiny. I don't know. I just figure shiny is good, right?
Yeah, why not? Shiny could be good.
That's what the crab says in Moana.
Oh, right.
Shiny.
Yep. Yes, that is right.
Yep. So Door_Disc_Golf and then Night_Owl_Pod. Those are our Instagram handles. So go on and check it out. And I think JP just posted on the Night Owls podcast and he threw 4 discuses.
I did. Yeah.
Is that how you say disc guy?
Disc guy.
He threw 4 disc guy and so go on there and watch him throw those things and then make fun of his form. I don't know.
Why not?
Maybe his butt. All right. So, JP.
Sorry.
Let me move it to Mike.
Yeah, I just moved on.
Okay. If you had to choose, so this is what do they call them? Whether or not, or either or.
Yeah.
Is that what they call them? Those questions?
Sure. Either or.
Rather. Yeah. We'll call it that. All right. Would you rather? That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. So would you rather always have to eat soup with a fork?
Because I've got water. Because I've got water in my mouth. Yeah.
Yes. Or always eat your pudding through a straw.
Pudding through a straw.
Really?
Yep. I don't eat soup anyway.
You don't eat soup?
No.
No? So what's the deal with soup? What do you got against soup?
I don't know. I just don't.
You never like a cold day, you want like grilled cheese and tomato soup?
No.
Seriously?
Seriously. I do not crave soup.
And what about
ever.
chile?
No.
No chile either?
No.
Wow.
I don't know. Soup's just kind of like water with stuff thrown in it.
Okay.
And I'm like,
What about chicken booyah?
no, but my dad's a huge fan of chicken booyah.
Okay.
I have made it plenty of times. I've made soup. I just don't. Yeah.
Just not your
I
thing.
will test it, but just not my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But putting through a straw.
For it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we talking McDonald's straw or are we like just any straw?
Any straw.
By the way, most superior straw out there.
What's that?
McDonald's.
Why?
It fits in the lips right.
Okay.
I know it sounds weird to say that a cylinder just fits right in the mouth, but
Yeah. I feel like McDonald's used to have wider straws
yeah.
than some other places, so you could suck more fluid through it.
This is going in a weird direction. I'm not sure why. But
I don't know either.
You're right.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they're the same, but maybe not.
No, I don't know. I haven't been to McDonald's in a while.
So, being a person that works in the food industry and has access to a lot of different products,
Yeah.
I've tried to get McDonald's straws before.
Okay.
They won't allow you to buy them.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
It's like McDonald's Coke is different than any other Coke. They only sell it to
it?
McDonald's. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's there's something different with the formula. That
We don't use Coke. We use Pepsi. So
Okay. Pepsi
yeah,
also
we're Pepsi
has
peoples.
interesting fact. Pepsi has fallen down the popularity chain, and
It has.
Dr. Pepper has overtaken them.
So you want to hear a fun thing?
Yeah.
So restaurant, we go through a lot of Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, more specifically.
Okay.
And for a very, very long time, we could not get 5-gallon bibs, so bag in a box
Yeah.
of Pepsi,
Yeah.
of Diet Pepsi. We could only get the 2.5 gallons. And then one day they said, hey, we're discontinuing Diet Pepsi. we're no longer going to take it because we're changing everything to 0. So we need to get your fountains switch over to 0.
Weird. Okay.
And I go, okay, no problem. Just let us know when. And we got like a box and a half left, and then we'll switch over to 0. This was a year ago. They still got Diet Pepsi. And now we have crap Pepsi Zero on the fountain when people ask for Diet Pepsi. And I'm like, and I call the people. I was like, hey, I thought you said we weren't getting Diet Pepsi anymore. Oh, I don't know where you heard that from. You came and did it.
Your distributors.
Yeah.
How dare you?
And I told them, I go, hey, listen, Dr. Pepper and 7-Up are looking really good right now. So I'll use that now that I know that they're falling out of grace.
Yeah, they are.
I'm a Dr. Pepper guy through and through. Like, have been for a long, long time. But anyways.
Anyway. Oh, so.
Where were we going with it? How did we get there?
Because we were talking about straws.
Straws,
and McDonald's. Okay, anyway. Underrated straw is the straw you get with the slushie with like the little spoon on the end.
Do they make those still?
I think so.
I haven't seen one in forever. Do you remember the McFlurry straw spoon thing stirrers? They were the square ones that had a hole all the way through them, and they used to put them in the McFlurry maker, and they would make your McFlurry with them.
I didn't think that was a straw. I thought it was just the spoon, and they were like, hey, that's just going to be for cleanliness and whatever. We're just not going to, we're just going to give that to you.
Yeah. The hole goes all the way through, so I say that's a straw.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I don't think they make those anymore. I'm not sure.
I mean, the ice cream machine's always broken. So
Touche.
I have no idea.
Touche. So you can't get the Coke or the ice cream because. All right.
Confounded.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then pudding through a straw.
Yeah, that's it for me. How about you? Could you, like, I can just imagine the soup on the fork. You know, like the broth, just like the couple little prongs that have soup on top of them. And you're like, oh.
Are you?
This is going to take me a year.
Would a spork count?
That is such a cheater move.
Are you for sporks or are you against? Are you like yay or nay on sporks?
No, I'm okay with sporks.
Okay.
Because I feel like they, especially if you're trying to cut costs, right? Mm-hmm. Picnic, you don't want to get a spoon or a fork. So you're like, let's just get spork.
Yeah. And they make sporks now with a knife on the handle.
Oh my God.
So it's the Sporkniff.
Okay, hold on. But how are you supposed to cut your?
Like, say you flip that bad boy over.
I know, but what are you doing? Holding it with your finger and cutting?
Yeah,
because you got to use the end of the spork to hold it down. I'm
not the one that made them. I'm just saying they're out there.
Okay. That seems like a silly tool.
It is. But something I would definitely want. I don't know why. If I had a choice between a fork with a knife on the handle or a spork with a knife on the handle or a spork with no knife, spork with knife.
Okay. Because I feel like you're going to have to have another spork in one handle.
Yeah, because now you're into 2 sporks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only asked that because we have fork and knife at the donut shop now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why don't we just get a spork? Like, I feel like that would work so much better. Because, like, the donuts, we make they're like a sundae.
Yeah.
But the base is not ice cream, it's a donut.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of crap on top of it. So you need a fork and a knife to eat it. And I think a spork would work well.
That could work.
You get to scoop up all the like gooey caramel and stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that's what I was just saying. Like, are you for sporks or not? So would you walk into a joint and be like, sporks? Like, does it class it down a little bit or does it class it up?
Yeah. I don't really think.
Okay. I'm going to get one Dimax, a spork Dimax on a disc. What disc would I put the spork on?
Judge.
Yeah. Would I put like Sporky or what's his name? That one guy?
Yeah. That's him from
like
Toy Story.
Yeah, right? Is that his name? Sporky? Okay.
Yeah.
We should get Sporky on a disc. That's not a bad idea. Okay. So, want to talk about disc golf?
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right. What do we want to do? Northwest Disc Golf Championship or rules update?
Doesn't matter. Either one.
Okay. Then we'll talk about Yulee.
Okay.
All right. Northwest Disc Golf Championship just happened this weekend. Just ended yesterday. And boy, was it a doozy. So I watched 3 of the rounds and did all the recaps.
Yeah.
And got to watch, a good majority of it. It's probably the most disc golf I've watched in a while.
Oh.
I'm supposed to go to bed, I guess. Yeah. Just so you know, I'm old and I go to bed at 10:30.
On non-recording nights.
Yeah, not on recording nights. I got sacrifices that have to be made. So Northwest Disc Golf Championship just happened, and essentially it's Portland Open and Beaver Fling.
Yeah,
Beaver State
Portland Open, Beaver State Fling, Glendevere, Milo McIver, and they just kind of
sandwiched them.
Yeah,
They sporked it.
they sporked it. There you go.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
I did hear that there were some complaints about how the distance
were.
between the two courses because you only have so much time to go and practice, right?
Right.
And the courses are roughly 45 minutes apart from each other, is what I had heard. And so they played Milo 2 days, Glendevere 2 days, which is good because going back and forth.
Right.
I mean, not like it would be that big of a deal, but it could be.
There were no events the week before, right?
Kayak, but
yeah,
no,
that thing.
That thing.
Suck it up, Buttercup. You get paid for this. Like,
True.
just get there earlier. I don't know. I don't have a lot of I'll say empathy because I've never had to do it before.
True. Yeah.
So I don't have much empathy for disc golfers that complain about there's not enough time to practice. I get it logistically, but like you choose to sign up for this thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're getting into.
Right.
Like, don't sign up for it if you don't want to do it. Like, don't complain about it. Just sign up and go. Like,
Yeah.
and if there's a constructive way to make changes for the future, awesome. There's a suggestion box. It's usually sitting right next to the porta potties. But I'm sure there's a way, and I know there is, because in the Pro Tours there's always like the review for the players. Like the players are like, hey, this was awesome, this wasn't awesome. But
Well, plus they have the group chat thing.
Yeah.
To complain and make suggestions and all that.
And those are good constructive places to do it, But as far as like a lot of that stuff, I mean, you're just never going to make enough people happy. And if it was only one course, they're like, well, why wouldn't we get to do, so there's always going to be someone there. So, I get it. I mean, there's merit to what they're saying, of course, because they're the pros, they do it, like ask me how to make a donut or make a bed or flip a burger. I got you. But like playing on the Pro Tour, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, but I do kind of see it's kind of whiny,
A little
just a little bit. But once again, I'm not out there. So
True.
Take that for what it is. So fascinating. The one person that I want to talk about and highlight, well, we'll highlight some more people, but Paul Ulibarri held on all the way through the third round. And third round is where he kind of blew up. He didn't blow up. He just didn't stay on pace is what it was.
Right. Everybody, he 11 down first round. Great at Milo McIver.
Yeah.
And then fell off, tied for third.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden go to a big bomber course.
Yep.
Long holes. And
Yep.
just kind of.
Yeah. And that's what I want to talk about. So, because Milo still isn't a short course.
No, it's not.
It has some technicality, low ceilings, awesome course. It seems like an awesome course. I've never been out there to play any of them, but they probably a bucket list course for me. If I ever get out that way, I'm definitely bringing some discs, or if not, I'm going to buy some discs while I'm
for
there.
sure. Yeah.
But I want to talk about him because for gentlemen our age, he is making reality or making kind of dreams happen. Because what's happening is he is not trying to keep up with the young guys in big arms because he knows he's just not that person anymore.
Right.
So what he's doing is saying, hey, I am going to throw rollers and I'm going to play unconventional, like sidearm chops. We're going to play kind of old school, unconventional, get sneaky distance and hit the less conventional lines to be successful. And he was killing it on Milo.
Yeah.
But when you get into the open bomber courses, like even with rollers, he's not keeping up with these guys.
Right. Like his rollers are some people's air shots.
Exactly.
So that's, the distance is getting equalized.
Right.
So.
Yep. And with at playing in wooden, more technical courses. Now that's still a golf course, but they use the wood lines. They do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, it makes it a little better. But I was just so kind of proud of watching him kind of, can I say, kind of swallow the pride or the ego and just play old man golf. Like he was playing those fun, exciting lines, kind of high risk, high reward lines.
Yeah.
Because throwing rollers in rooty areas, like you never know what's going to happen. But man, they all seem to really work out for him for the most part. For the most part. But then you get, to the other course and there's water, there's gaps that need to be carried. There's, like little ravines and stuff like that. And
a lot of OB.
And pretty tight too,
yes, right.
Pretty tight. So he just kind of fell off the platform there,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. But we did have some amazing drama in the last.
The other thing about Yuli is I was listening to Tour Life, and he was at Konopiste.
Okay.
And he was talking about having to fly from there to Portland to go do the Jomez practice round.
Oh,
and he got in like late the night before, and then ended up having to get up early, and they did the practice round with Simon at, I think they did it at Glendevere, as I recall. And yeah, he was just talking about being like pretty like
just exhausted, I'm sure. Yeah. And jet lagged, of course.
Right. Yeah. I think he said I think he might have said he had like a layover somewhere as well that like kind of pushed him to the late nights and everything. But like the other thing about this like tournament was we saw a lot of people that we hadn't seen on coverage or like lead cards in a while. It's just like a weird, like after round one, you got Yuli, Bradley Williams, Eagle, Ricky, right? Round two, all of a sudden it's Burr, Macbeth, Calvin, Ricky, and then Barella, Burr, Corey Ellis, Kyle Klein. Haven't seen those two, Kyle or Corey in a while, but just like some really interesting cards.
Yeah. Some people you expect to be there, and other people you're like, hey, good to see you. Like Corey Ellis, like
right. Yeah,
I remember what he looks like now.
Right. I haven't seen you since the European Open that you won. Yeah. But like Macbeth, this is just going to be another storyline.
I know.
Just he's always right there, right? Like, and then he just 2 over.
Yep.
The bet.
Yep. Yeah. What happens is he pushing too much to make things happen, and he doesn't have beast mode anymore,
right?
Or is he fatiguing quicker than he used to? Or,
possibly,
or is his mental game just not where it used to be? Or is he just simply like, I don't know, maybe he's just.
Because, front 9 of round 3, or what was it? Was it round 3? Yeah, he took par, 4 bogeys in a row.
Yeah.
And then 3 pars, a bogey. And, he just was, up and down and just couldn't recover.
And these holes, maybe a couple of them get the field play a little over par, but I don't even think any of the holes play over par.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they average over par. Maybe there's 1 or 2 that maybe a half a stroke over par.
Right.
But they're not warranted.
No.
These are holes that if you land inbounds, you're gonna par.
Right.
It's par is pretty given for these pros. For you or I, 3, 4, 5 over, sure, but
he was 15 out of 20 fairway hits, 0 for 5 scramble, hit 6 out of 18 circle 1 regulation, 10 of 18 circle 2 regulation, 9 of 12 circle 1 putting, and then 1 for 6 from circle 2. This is all during round 3.
Right.
So OB rate 27%.
Yeah.
So,
No.
shaky.
And his putty didn't seem that great.
No.
So, if he's missing circle 1, you said he's missing 4 out of the 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Was he circle 1? No, C1X was 9 out of 12, but circle 2 is 1 out of 6.
Yeah.
So,
but even C1X 9 for 12. So he missed 3 putts.
Yeah.
Those all should if you're in the X, you got to be. It's a given. Was that 15 feet?
average putt 15.2 feet for that round. His longest was 39 feet.
Okay.
But he hit 5 OB strokes.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a big difference.
It does make a big
difference. I mean, you take those 5 strokes away, but
yeah.
But he had to throw him. I mean, no one else threw him for him, so
exactly.
Those were on him. So you want to get to 18?
Yeah.
18, hole 4?
Yeah.
I mean, round 4. So
round 4.
Final round, hole 18. If you haven't watched it, too bad. We're about to talk about it. So,
well, you should have. I mean, it's been out.
And it's been pretty controversial. So if you listen to any other disc golf stuff, I'm sure they've talked about it. So 4-person card, Corey Ellis. That's the last time we're gonna mention him because he was just not a factor.
Right.
Other than taking time.
Yeah.
He was just not a factor because he was 10 strokes down from the lead. 9 strokes down from tied for second.
Yeah.
So you got Klein, Burr, and AB. AB is sitting at 33 under, excuse me. 33 under.
Whoa.
And Klein and AB are both sitting at Klein and Burr are both sitting at 32 under.
Yeah.
So AB is 1 stroke advantage going into the 18th hole.
Or no, Klein was at 31.
Oh, Klein was at 31?
Yep.
Did he birdie the last hole?
Yeah, he birdied the last hole.
Okay. So Klein was at 31. And yeah, because he was putting for eagle because that would have made it a 3-way tie potentially. Yeah. Okay. And Burr gets off the tee and uses all the left and right width and bombs it like 545 feet in the air.
Yeah, you know, it was impressive.
Hits the ground, stops, like no skip, no roll, no nothing. AB's up next, and AB just sends a worm burner down there. Just barely gets over the OB like creek. There.
Yeah, it was like a little retaining pond or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yep. Just barely makes it over that. And then Klein comes up and puts it up near Burr. He's probably 40, 50 feet short of Burr.
Yeah.
And like I said, Corey Ellis was a great drive, but we're just going to leave him out of it. Yeah.
Shane, you said you weren't going to mention him anymore.
Sorry. So then AB's up first on his second shot and absolutely just shanks it. And not a complete shank, but he clips a tree.
Yep.
Maybe progresses 150 feet.
Right. Immediately hits the tree, kicks right.
Yeah. Straight down. We've all done it.
Was he trying to go forehand?
He was trying to go forehand on the outside, just trying to get up into that zone.
Right.
I think he was trying to go to the left side of the tree.
Well, he had to because there was a Mando probably like 200 feet in front of him off to the right-hand side. That was going to force him to go around that.
Yeah. So he doesn't go past the Mando. Nope. He hits the right side of the tree he was going to try to go on the left side with. And this tree's maybe, like I said, 150 feet away. 100 feet away, something like that. And he squares it. Kicks off to the right. Doesn't make it past the Mando. So now he has to still go around this Mando, but now he's further right.
Yep.
So Kyle and Burr are up. Kyle throws a shot that puts him 50 feet away down the hill on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Kind of like very similar to where Adam Hammes was. Very, very close to that. Maybe a little further out from where Adam Hammes was. Yeah. When he...
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That sounded violent.
It did. It hurt too. I got stuff on my face. So then Burr steps up and shankopotamus, like right into the middle of those cedars or pines or whatever trees they were, spruces.
I mean, he was lining up he was going for eagle. This is what it seemed like on Joe Messer. Like, well, if he's going for, he's going to throw backhand. If he's going to lay it up, he's going to throw forehand. He ends up, like you said, he throws the backhand and just so offline, like unreal.
Yeah.
And just hits the cedar or pine or whatever it is, falls down, and you're just like, what the heck?
I mean, like 30 degrees offline.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just like incredible. Incredible. So he's trying to play a wide turnover around the trees. A very similar shot to what Kyle Klein accomplished. Trying almost that same like turnover, high flexing turnover. And he just shanks it. And it's a good thing those trees were there, or else he would have been way out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Way out of bounds. So the thick trees catch him, drop him down. So he's probably still 200 out. 150, 200 out or something like that. So AB's up now. AB has to make it around the Mando, so he has to do this kind of pitch forehand. And he comes like a sea hair away from being OB.
Yeah.
And just really close to going OB from there. So he's probably another 100 out, 120, something like that. You know, still has to throw it. It's not an upshot. I mean, not a putt for sure. So then Burr steps up and puts it basically bases it. So then it puts the pressure on AB. AB throws it and he's 20 feet out at the maximum.
20 feet out, yeah.
Now Kyle Klein putts, cages it.
Yep.
So he's out
elevated
of the playoff.
basket.
Elevated basket. Yep. Putts, cages it. He's out of the basket. And so he was, like I said, about 50 feet and then downhill as well on an elevated basket. So it was a hard putt.
Yeah.
It was a hard putt. But he just hung it outside, hit the basket. So even if he was online, he still would have, caged it. And everybody was kind of disappointed because everybody was like, man, that could have been a cool playoff.
Oh, yeah.
See these guys go. So everybody's kind of almost heading to the playoff holes, it seems like. Corey Ellis fires it up there. Then AB steps up, and in my mind, I'm thinking other than being that I heard the drama, I'm like, yeah, this is nothing for AB. This is just standard. Just holds it right, too much pace, and cuts right through.
Yeah.
So he drops next to the basket, and sure enough, Burr takes it home from there. All he has to do is a drop in, and he won from essentially a 2-stroke swing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was only one back, but Barella bogeyed and Burr birdied, and that was that. So
that was that.
Burr takes away the Northwest Disc Golf Championship for the MPO side.
And neither player, I will say, played a clean round.
Not.
Their scores were Burr -6, Barella -5, and Klein, and tied with Ezra Aderhold for the hot round, the final round at 10 down. But really, you watch them both, Burr and Barella both, and you're could have been cleaner.
Yeah,
could have been
sure.
a lot cleaner. Watching this final round is just both of them were just missing shots right off the bat. Barella almost kind of mirrored his hole one. He missed a little bit. I think it was to the left. Same thing. Caught the edge of the chains and just spit. Not a spit out, but just
No, it wasn't. Just got pushed out. I mean, he
out.
had too much space. He was on, or too much pace. He was on the wrong side of the chains and too low, so there wasn't enough chains to catch him.
Yeah,
and he pushed right through.
Yeah,
that's all it was. I mean, you might want to call it a spit out, but I wouldn't call it a spit out. It was just a bad putt. He was just off center. If he would have had it 2 inches into the left, it would have stuck and fallen right in the basket.
Yeah,
but he was 2 inches right, and it fell out.
And honestly, Gannon probably could have had a better score. He had a lot of C2 putts that just fell short. Online, he had one hole where he had this kneeling putt. I forgot what hole it was, and he had the line and everything, but just didn't have enough on it. And it seemed like that a couple times. He had one really awesome shot. I think it was on hole 11. He played this really big Anheuser line, and AB ended up throwing a shot, and it ended off to the left. Gannon threw this shot on purpose, ended off to the left, and you're well, what the heck? But it's wide open, easier there to get to the basket. And
yeah,
I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you see. And I don't even think this is up for debate. I mean, people will and can try to debate this, but I think currently two of the best players in the world.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Without number one and number two right there. AB and Burr, I don't know if there's anyone that matches their skill. They have everything.
Right.
Except for, as we see, maybe mental toughness. Maybe there's still a little bit there where they need to learn how to win.
Yeah.
But also learn how to lose,
Right.
But I think they're both right on the cusp of being just absolute legends.
I mean, they're almost the same type of player.
Oh, they are.
They really are.
They are.
Distance-wise and putting-wise. And I think Gannon's probably still a better putter than AB.
Yes.
But, AB's kind of closing the gap a little bit.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I wouldn't doubt that these two will be the Ricky and Macbeth of now.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think they're gonna battle quite a bit of this generation. So good for them. And on the other side, I don't know if there's really much to talk about other than didn't Holland Hanley just absolutely smear the field by like 8 strokes or something like that?
Yeah.
7,
I mean, Missy and Holland were tied round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, Missy had a 1-stroke lead. Then heading into round 3, Holland overtook her. Even though Missy fell off -5, Paige Pierce shot up to second. Mm-hmm. She and Holland tied. Uh-huh. And then final round, Holland -8. Everybody else just kind of tailed off. And that was the end of that, you know.
And let's give recognition. I don't want to just beat a dead horse. Like, beat a dead horse. No, that's not the right word. Let's just give recognition. Like, Paige Pierce in it again.
Yeah.
2 tournaments in a row. 2 big tournaments in a row. Mm-hmm. So maybe something's turning around for her.
Maybe.
Like we said, getting her legs under her.
Yeah, right. Getting her legs under her.
So.
And we'll say, so I was on Instagram and, you know, disc golf, the Pro Tour, they were like, oh, Holland Hanley won, you know, whatever, gave her a little mugshot or whatever it is that they, it's not a mugshot, but, you know, post about it and everything. And, you know, some people are like, well, Kristen wasn't there.
So?
Right.
Right? Like, there's no asterisk there, you know?
Right. Like, there's a couple posts, people are like, well, Kristen wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. Like, but, you know, you're going to take that away from somebody, like, try to delegitimize. Is that right? Yeah. Like, you know, but, you know, there's still the majority of the top 10 there. Now, you could say last week at Kona Peach Day, you know, Kristen won that, but
Holland wasn't there.
Holland wasn't. Like, yeah, right. Like, the rest of the top 10 wasn't there. Like, who'd she beat? Like, that's a far weaker field than this field was. So, I mean, and she destroyed the competition at Kona Peach Day. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like each win's like it. I don't know. It's it's a weird dichotomy of no. It's like it's weighted, right?
Yes.
It's weighted. That's people are trying to say, oh, this win means more because whatever. This win means less because she wasn't there. He was like, you know, whatever. So.
They try to pull that, like, and Holland gets that quite a bit because Holland has been winning more and more and more. And I'm sorry, my phone is going nuts for some reason.
Hopefully it's DoorDisc sales.
Yeah, it's not. But jump on line right now, DoorDisc.com. It's my child asking for more. One of my children asking for more time on Snapchat.
Jeez. Okay. No, but like I think you're right. I think a lot of times people are like, oh, Holland's gonna win or Missy's gonna win, you know, and but Kristen's not there. So
exactly. They invalidate it.
Yeah.
And you know, I think there is merit to that statement because if the best in the world is not there, which she's the best in the world currently, by all means, I mean, I don't know if that's arguable right at this moment, but man, Holland sneaking up on her. And, you know, Missy Gannon is doing pretty darn well too this year.
Right.
I mean,
Missy Gannon was arguably player of the year last year.
Right.
You know, there's some people would say controversy there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like Kristen's unbeatable.
No. I mean, she loses often enough. And we're Kristen fans. Like, there's nothing that we could say that this new Lat chick isn't good, but you know, like, she's really darn good. And if she was there, would the outcome have been different? Maybe. But she wasn't. So you know, it is what it is. But you do hear that a lot with Holland, starting last year and then continuing on into this year. And it's just, I don't think she's getting the credence or the notoriety that she deserves because she's a good player, man, and she's done it in a really short period of time too. I just I don't know. So, but good for her. I'm happy for her. I mean, we've been fans of Holland for a long time, and even before she was winning, you know, just when she was still pretty new. Did you just reach out to her on Instagram and like, hey, you want to be on the show? And she was like, yep.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I reached out to my friend Ryan, and I haven't talked to him in a while, but he was a sponsor of hers, Chalk Bags. And so he's like, hey, or I reached out to him something about trying to talk to her, get her on the show. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And so we just contacted each other through Instagram or whatever, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. And she was super awesome to have on the show. And it was just after her second place at Worlds, wasn't it like that? Or
Yeah.
it was just off
Second or
of
third.
really close.
Yeah. Still with Dee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even then she said, I'm always entertaining
Yeah,
you know,
right.
ideas. So
Yeah.
because
That
we'd
was
asked her about
exactly
it. But so Northwest Disc Golf Championship, one in the bags.
Yeah.
So congratulations to
Someone else had, I don't know
Gamper.
who, sorry to interrupt. Someone,
No worries.
weird fact, someone had posted that Discraft has had a winner in every tournament except for Music City.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, they also have like 75% of all disc golfers sponsored.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, every winner except for one tournament. I mean, jeez.
It's kind of what the Yankees of disc golf do.
Yeah.
Like,
Dodgers. Exactly.
isn't it like Boston? Like the Bo Sox got it too.
They used to be that way,
Oh, okay.
but
Not anymore.
not
I guess.
anymore. They've kind of fallen off.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's get into some rules updates. So the 2026 proposed rules updates have dropped. So I had heard about them prior to, and it was funny because I actually messaged Matt Yadis and said, hey, guess what? Flex tiers, you can have players play in multiple divisions. So this is where we'll start. And he's like, no, that's not true. And I go, yeah, it is for the proposed 26 rules update. And he goes, no, I'm looking at it right here and it's not true. And I'm like, really? I swear it was. And that's where I got it from. And then sure enough, it came out and it is. So we'll start at Flex Play.
Okay.
So one of the things that I found interesting, so I have 3 of them that I want to talk about. One of the things I found interesting is in Flex tier events now, the same person with the same PDGA number can compete in the same day in multiple divisions. And they can range from MPO to MA4 as long as their rating is below 959. So 960 is the cutoff.
Okay.
Or it's at 969. Anyways, it's either 960 or 970. I can't remember exactly what it was. But as long as they're rated below 960, let's say 960, they can play multiple and as many as they want within the amount of time that the flex is allowed. So, for instance, if I went there, I could play MA1, MA40, MPO, or MPO, MP40. I mean, I could play 4 divisions. I think I'm capped out of MA2 now.
Okay.
I think I'm just barely capped out of MA2. So I can play in MA1, MPO. So I can play in 4 divisions in the same day if I can get all the rounds in.
Yeah. Interesting. So you can't register all at once. So you can't be like, hey, I want to put you in like all these divisions at once. So you
Right.
have to go round by round.
Round by round,
Yeah.
because each round you have to make it clear what division you're playing in.
Right.
So you can't be like, play around and be like, oh, that'll put me in the lead in MA1, so I'm going to put it in MA1.
Yeah.
No. Like, hey, I'm playing MA1, your round. MA, MP40, your round. MPO, your round. So you can play as many times as you want now. Before, you weren't able to do that. How do I feel about it? I think it's freaking awesome.
That's kind of cool.
I think it's pretty cool. You still have to pay the player fees. You
Yeah.
still have to pay all those things. So as a TD, I don't know if I dislike it. I think it's great. It's just more people into the fray playing.
More opportunity for money.
Right, exactly.
Right. Like if somebody really wants to play, they're like, yeah, I'll keep playing.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that do that anyway.
Oh.
You're like, you have a bad round and you're like, well, I think I can score better, so I'm
Yes.
going to sign up again. You're
Yep.
going to register again.
Yep. So, now you don't have to stay in the same division. You can just keep going.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty nice. I mean, I don't mind it. It was made mention that it is just a money grab by the PDGA. I guess I don't see it that way. Sure, they're going to get more money. They're going
Right.
to get $3 more per player or per time the player plays. So, you can get more money from one player, but the TD also benefits. The tournament also benefits. The player packs, the payouts, all those things benefit from it. So I think it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Win.
Did I have enough wins?
Yeah.
in there. So I think it's a good thing. So I like it. Good job, PDGA. And then for those guys that just want to go out and marathon it, like, there you go. Have fun.
Until your flex year's over.
Yeah, until the flex year's over, you're broke.
But I was hoping to win some money to go to the store, payouts.
It's like that gambling addict, like, one more time. It's going to hit. It's going to hit.
Speaking of gambling and hits, I'm curious how many people, I don't know if this was an event where gambling was allowed.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just curious how many people are ahead on gambling on disc golf.
I don't know. Disc golf is so, right now, is so, hard to bet on.
Yeah.
I would assume it.
I would assume it would be. Yeah, I'm just curious, if you're one of those people out there that is bet, I don't know if you'd bet I'm sure some people have bet every weekend, but I'm just curious how people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
reach out, hit us up, reach out to us. Instagram, email, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just want to know, are you betting on the same person? Is it different people?
Yeah.
What the amount or you don't have to share the amount or whatever, but
no, you do.
Okay. How bad are you in the hole?
Exactly. How many millions have you lost?
And then go call Gamblers Hotline.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to help you. We're here to listen to you, and then completely berate you for your bad choices.
Really? Disc golf?
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, out of all things. All right.
Anyway.
All right. So there's our flex play. How do you feel about that?
No, I think I'm fine with that.
All right.
I mean, it's weird because, not weird. I don't know, if I were to play, I'd probably start out MA2 or MA3. And then I'd be like, well, okay, I scored here. Now, do you want to beat that score in the same division, or do you want to move on to another division and try to better your score and see how you do? It's one of those things. Do you feel how do you feel like you're going to compete against certain people, or can you see other people's scores at the time and be like, okay, I want to beat that score?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. Does the new rule allow to play in the same division multiple times?
I don't see why you couldn't.
I'd have to look that up because
Yeah.
I know you can play in separate divisions. I'm not sure if you can play in the same division. But as you're saying that, it sounds familiar. It sounds like that's a possibility. But for some reason, I don't know why I can't pinpoint it. So I'd have to look that up. But either way, I mean, you can play multiple rounds if you want to in the same tournament. Just for sure, you have to be in separate divisions. I'm not sure if you can play in the same division over and over.
Yeah.
So, or if that's even right now, that's a thing. For some reason, I feel like it's a thing right now. You can do that, but maybe not because I don't have anybody. I don't know if we have anybody that does that. So, and I would assume people would if they're like, I blew it and I want to play again.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. It would be like playing a 2-round tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about participating in votes.
Okay.
So if there is a violation that happens, a courtesy violation, so there's a couple things that go on here. So they made some rules as far as calling violations. So first, we'll get into the most controversial one that has come up in the atmosphere recently is when a rules official calls a violation, there's no need for seconding or votes. The call is the call. So a rules official that is part of the event, not a player, it is what it is. Like if I call you on a foot fault, I call you on a foot fault. Nobody has to second it. Nobody can argue it. You can't challenge it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, if another player calls you on a violation, every player on the card has to vote the first time except for the thrower. And if there is a tie, so let's say it's a 5-person card and there's 2 and 2, you have to vote again if there's a tie. That's when the thrower of said violation will need to vote.
Right.
And obviously that goes along the lines of the benefit to the player.
Right. Yeah.
So that's still in that same aura of benefit to the player because if you have a split card, there's 2 that say yes, 2 that say no to whatever it may be, then obviously the thrower is going to vote for either what they know or, for obviously the more beneficial call.
Yeah. Right.
So,
I mean, you can still, like, as the thrower in the first round of voting, you can still state your case and, like, posture for your positioning, but you can't vote.
right.
And you can't abstain from a vote.
You cannot. There's
That
no.
is a courtesy
you
violation.
cannot abstain, and that is a courtesy violation if you do abstain. So if you abstain twice in a round, you get a stroke.
Yep.
So, but I think that's cool. I mean, essentially what it does, because there's already rules in place right now that say you have to pay attention
Yeah.
to every throw, everywhere. And I don't know how many times I've been out on courses where someone throws something and something happens. Either you lose the disc goes OB, whatever it may be. And there's always the one guy that's like, I wasn't watching, man.
Right.
I wasn't watching. Or he has the headphones in and he's off doing something else, trying to stay in the zone, and he's just not participating in the card other than throwing frisbees every once in a while. So essentially what it does is allows us to hold those people accountable. Like, hey, you got to vote. You got to be involved in this.
Yeah.
Now, abstaining means you don't participate. You can also say, hey, I can't vote on this because I did not see it, or I didn't have a good view, or something like that. So you can say that, but you can't abstain. You can't not go one direction or the other. So that's pretty nice. I would be for it if it happened. I don't have any issues with it. But what that does is it further moves us into the direction of more accountability on the course. And it gives, I think, probably a little more backbone for people to actually make calls, players to actually make calls on other players. Because then at that point, they know that the rest of the card has to make a decision one way or the other, or it's a courtesy violation. So, for instance, when Ricky kicked to the disc at Memorial and Nico called him on it and nobody else said anything on the card, that outcome would be different now.
Yeah.
They would have had to make a decision. So that would have been pretty cool. And that's getting like 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now that's
quite a while ago.
But those are those kind of controversial moments that could have been called at that point. So, or what was it? Katrina Allen and Paige Pierce.
Yeah.
Those calls. Everybody stayed out of it when they shouldn't have. They should have made a choice at that point. Because I think Missy Gannon was on the card, and then I don't remember who else it was, but
yeah.
Own, I want to say.
Yeah, it could have been. I
Yeah.
don't remember, but I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty fascinating. I don't mind it at all. I think it's pretty great. I do think that the change in the rules for the official, I still think that there needs to be more training officially for officials.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're just going to be kind of rangers / spotters / course officials, there needs to be more training.
Yeah.
It's not just the straight officials test, because it's not enough.
No.
It's not enough. So
they should have to watch, like, if you want to, you should have to sit and watch a video. Just sit, watch Jomez or whatever. No sound. Just sit there, watch, and just of violations. Whether it's a, kick disc, whatever it is,
football time, whatever it may be.
And then it's like, okay, what violation occurred?
Yeah.
And when did it happen? Was the disc released on time? Whatever it is, you have to make the call, and you have to get so many right out of whatever it is
in real time, no slow mo, no nothing like that, just
you don't
real
get
time.
replay. You just have to
Because with the call with Chris and Lat, ultimately it was the right call, but in reality, real time, there's no way he could have made that call beyond a questionable doubt. But yet he said he knows he was right. He had no doubt.
Right. And then you can't question it because he's the official, and that's that.
Yep. And that's pretty common in all sports, essentially. It's pretty common. You don't question it. Like, you can challenge. Like, you have challenge flags and things like that. Yeah. But
VAR, something.
For the most part, like, what the ump says is what the ump says, or what the ref says is what the ref says. Like, it is what it is. Unless it's ultimate. And then it's still self-called, and they just look over every once in a while. Hey, you want to break this tie? I think that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, it's self-regulated. Yeah.
because it's self-regulated, but if there are officials there, the officials don't make calls. They just stop tie breaks, right? Like, so if two people are arguing, they get to make the final decision, right? So, all right. So then the next thing is extension. So we're going to talk about time. So pace of play. They made some clarifications, and they gave a little bit more to people that need time. Justification for this was, if I remember rightly, it was basically some of these large moments where you're competing for tens of thousands of dollars, and that putt can make a difference for tens of thousands of dollars, that they need a little bit more time than just 30 seconds.
Right.
Because these are high pressure situations.
Yeah. One of the other things was that these rules were made when it was pretty much par 3 courses. And so you could address your lie, make the throws much quicker than being on these larger courses.
Right. So let's talk about what addressing the lie means. So they did clarify what addressing the lie means. Essentially, just if you've made or taken an action to prepare for a throw. So that means taking a practice swing over your disc, marking it.
Rangefinder, testing the wind.
Yeah, testing the wind. Like, what do they call it? Standing over your disc, look at the lie, like where your lines are. So there's a lot of those things that say you have addressed your disc. In order of play, if you're standing over your disc and watching, but it's not your turn to throw, that does not start your clock. But as soon as it is your turn in order to throw, then it starts your clock. So if you have addressed your lie and you're standing over your disc, and then Joe Blow, who is away, throws, and now you're furthest away and it's your turn to throw, you've addressed your lie.
Right.
So your 30 seconds starts. So 30 seconds is what you get if you are outside of 20 meters, so 60 feet, or not on the tee pad, or not in a drop zone, right? So 30 seconds goes for all of those. So that still essentially stays the same.
Right. 30 seconds, drop zone within 20 meters. And then on the tee. And then 45 seconds for any other throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you get an additional 15 seconds now. So.
Or what Cupcake and Gannon were taking before.
Yeah, exactly. And you get 2 30-second extensions during a round. So you can, without cause, just say, hey, I need an extension. And you get an additional 30 seconds. So you can have up to 1 minute and 15 seconds to throw.
Ridiculous.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. But we've seen it.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Nico was infamous for this for a while. Burr was infamous for this for a while. Cupcake was infamous for this for a while. There's been quite a few people that have taken some time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but now you get it. And outside of this, no leeway. Well, as long as your card doesn't call it.
Right.
Then you can have leeway.
Right.
But
there's some nuance to these rules and some kind of like gray area.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, okay, we were just talking about addressing your lie. Who on the card is in charge of keeping track of time? Right. Is it a group decision?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, it is a group decision.
It is.
Okay. I didn't know if there was someone on the card was the official timekeeper. Because what I could see is someone is like, hey, your time's up. And then someone else is like, well, no, he wasn't addressing his lie at this time. So I haven't clocked this time. And like, you just kind of lose track of the point of when the player actually addresses it.
Yeah. And you can, and I think they always talk about reasonable, I think is what the word that they always really like to use is reasonable or something like that. And it's a reasonable amount of time to address your lie. Like you have a reasonable amount of time to get to your lie. So if you're standing 50 feet back from your disc, even though it's your turn to throw, and you take 30 seconds just to come up to your lie and mark your disc, like that's not reasonable.
No.
And it's the same thing, like, I don't know. I think they mentioned something about it, like bathroom, like a reasonable amount of time to go to the bathroom, 5 minutes, maybe.
Right, depending on what you got going on.
20 minutes? Probably not, you know, like reasonably. Like, so, it's that type of thing. So if it seems reasonable, like I'm standing behind, AB because I threw further than AB after 3 shots. And he throws, and I'm still 100 feet in front of AB. Okay, it's reasonable to say it's going to take me 15 seconds to walk up there.
Right.
Take me a minute to walk up there? No. That's not reasonable, right?
No, right.
So I think that's kind of where it's at. So there is going to be a bit of gray, like I think what you said. There is going to be a little bit of leeway that has to be given, but within leeway is like 10 seconds of leeway. I don't think it's minutes of leeway.
No,
right?
No.
So, but that just all goes to the reasonability of the card.
Yeah.
So it depends on who have your cards. So if you have like Cupcake Burr, Nico, and pick someone else that's used to be super slow or is super slow. You can get those 4 on a card. Maybe reasonable is like 4 or 5 minutes. Who knows?
Right.
But
because you're talking.
It's not that egregious.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But you're talking. Okay, say you're adding the extra 15 seconds, and outside of circle 2, and then you take another 30 seconds on top of that. Mm-hmm. You're adding a lot of time to your rounds.
Yeah. And not to just to your rounds, to everybody's rounds.
Yeah.
But the one saving grace for that is that rules officials can walk up and just call you on it, and there's no muss,
Yeah.
So this isn't a first offense stroke. So this is courtesy. So it is just a, hey, this is your warning.
Yeah.
You're taking too long. So that will be what determines what's reasonable or what's not. Like, so if you're taking 45 seconds every time on something that you're only allowed 30 seconds on, and I reach over and go, hey, JP, taking a little long, there's your warning.
Yeah.
If it happens again, then it's a stroke. Right. And so, and there's no vote needed on the second call with that. Well, no, with the new rules, there would be a vote needed. So, but at that point, then everybody'd have to vote. Mm-hmm. So then you would find out what the reasonability would be.
Well, because the other thing I'm wondering too is let's say you're going over your 45, you're going over your 30, whatever, and all of a sudden it's, hey, we're starting your 30-second clock. Is that like it just happens, right?
It just happens. Yeah, you don't have to say I'm starting your clock.
Yeah. But the group can tell you, hey, you're using one of your extensions right now.
Right. I'm not sure about that.
Because because all of a sudden you're at 30 seconds and you're going over and it's not one of those situations, the group can be like, okay, this is one of your 30 seconds.
I don't think so, because I think that would just be the warning. I think that would just be like, hey, you're going over 30 seconds.
That's what I was wondering. Like, does it automatically kick in and you're like, well, I didn't say I was using my 30 seconds, but I've definitely gone over, and so it like kicks in. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're at one of those pressure situations of like a putt or something that you want to take that time.
But it's been taken away. I would assume that the player they're the ones that have to decide whether or not they are going to take that 30 seconds. That would be my assumption. Player must ensure pace of play, must not be taking excessive time to make a throw. So I'm going to read through it real quick. Make a throw, tie 45 seconds. Okay. A lot of time begins when previous player has thrown and the player in the next throwing order, and the player has determined the location of their lie, and it goes on just determining lie. Player has addressed their lie at the point. Marking the lie with a marker disc, supporting point in front of the disc. Okay, if playing area is no longer clear after the player's allotted amount of time is beyond, the timer stops. Once the area is clear, the player's allotted time resets and begins. So the clear player or clear playing area, so like the deer for Gannon Burr.
Yeah, right.
That reset is time.
Yep.
So you get the extension. So that still exists. So a player that, here's the player that engages an undue delay arriving at their lie. So like I was talking about, you're standing 100 feet back and you're just chilling there. Or is present at their lie but refuses to address their lie, has taken excessive time. So no, it says nothing about the extensions. It says nothing about the extensions. So the extensions, I believe, are called only by that player. They can call it. You can't take them away or use them.
Okay.
But it is neat too. So there is some cheating stuff that goes on in some of these smaller tournaments and whatnot, where guys are padding stats and padding scores. So one of the things that was also brought up, and I just seeing it, so I'm going to bring it up real quick. But the player must show their card upon request.
Oh, I did see that further down. Yeah.
So, if you feel that someone's cheating or maybe padding their stats a little bit or something like that, you can ask for them to show your card at any point.
Yeah.
But it's also just for validation. Everybody now has to keep their own score and the score for everybody else. So for confirmation, like, hey, our cards are off. Let me see your card. You can't refuse to show them your card to help balance out cards. But you also can't refuse to show their cards if you think someone's cheating.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to show that card as well.
Well, I know for sure on cards, I've witnessed, I know somebody has told me the wrong score before. Like, right? And then I'm like, because I keeping track, I'm like, okay, you took this here, landed out of bounds, or, landed bunker rule. Like, you just kind of keep track of people, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I got a 5. And you're like, yeah, you actually probably
got like a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've and I think I've done that before too, where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about the OB stroke or whatever it might be. It happens innocently. But if you refuse to show your card, that's a violation now. So that's good. Because we did play with somebody that did that. This was many, many years ago. It was like 2018. We played with somebody that did that. And he ended up getting caught. And fortunately, the whole card didn't get violations for it, but that person did. He actually ended up getting kicked out of the tournament. So, yeah. So there you go. So those are kind of the big ones that I noticed or talked about, or we talked about that we think they're nice or relevant to times.
Yeah.
There's a lot more in there, especially for team play and stuff like that. But for the most part, those are the big ones. Yeah, I'm dying like crazy.
Ooh, hey.
Yes, sir.
Just going back to the extension time one. Have you ever heard of it? You don't see many FPO players taking their sweet time. You never
Not really.
No,
not really.
They're all about it. They're just
I'm trying to think.
I don't know if anybody's like overly slow or even remotely slow.
There was a period of time where Jen Allen was getting caught on him, and there was also a period, the Allen sisters.
Yeah,
there was a period of time where Katrina Allen was also getting huff about it, but I don't think it was ever really a huge controversy at that point.
Yeah.
Now it just seems to be a lot more, like a lot bigger deal of it.
Right.
And I honestly think the excessive time. Okay, here we go. I'm about to piss some people off here. I think the excessive time also comes from the crowd of people that watch. And just matter of factly, FPL doesn't get as many eyes on it.
True.
So I don't think you see the same uproar when people do take excessive time.
Yeah.
I wonder how many eyes.
I wonder how many people, crowd members, or someone's addressing their lie, and all of a sudden from the gallery, 30 seconds.
Oh, it would be so awesome.
It
would be so awesome. I always thought it would be funny to carry around like a time clock.
Yeah.
With like with who was it that did that? Heimberg did it with Nico.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? When
yes.
He was holding up the timer and he was like pointing at it. He was when they were playing like skins or something.
Yeah.
And Nico's like, did you just time me? And he's like, yep.
Well, they do it all the time to Giannis in the NBA. You get 10 seconds at the free throw line, and as soon as he gets the ball, 10, 9, like the whole arena's, counting down. And he's like at 15 seconds, and he still hasn't shot the ball.
Yeah. Isn't it sad to say that Giannis is getting old?
He is.
Like he's getting to be a point where like his age is starting to catch up with him. Like,
I don't know about that. I mean, he's still pretty dominant.
Oh, I mean, he's still darn good, but you can tell he's he's seasoned. Like he's,
right. He is.
Do you think he's a Buck till days in? Like he's going to be in Milwaukee till he retires? Is he going to be a Jordan?
I'd like to.
Well, I guess he went to the Wizards, but yeah. So when the first time Jordan retired,
I hope so. But okay. I keep hearing more and more about trades and
really. But don't both of his brothers play for the Bucks too?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, I thought they did.
His one brother, he didn't play at all this year. Thanasis, he didn't play.
Okay.
And then his other brother was on the Lakers for a season or two, and I think he went back to Greece and is playing there.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts, and they're like, "Well, what's the trade value of Giannis? How many first-round picks or players and all this? And are they going to trade him before this season? Or are they going to wait till February because that's when the trade deadline is?" And like, they're just mulling about.
Isn't he their best player as it is right now? I mean, essentially, like,
absolutely.
So why are we talking about trading our best player, or why is Milwaukee talking about trading our best player?
He came out with the statement saying that he would consider looking at other options or going somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I mean, Milwaukee doesn't have I shouldn't say that. I mean, Dame's hurt. They don't have a lot of their own draft picks to like build anything.
Right.
Because they used them to get Dame, and then they got Kyle Kuzma, which they traded, Chris Middleton, and they threw some stuff back and forth that way. And so, yeah, they don't own a lot of their own picks right now.
So don't have anybody to come and like team with Giannis. Like essentially, they don't have anybody to back them up. And
what we can offer is probably one of the lower mid-level exceptions, as far as money goes for players. But you're getting minimal help.
Yeah,
you're like looking at like a 9th through 12th kind of bench player.
Yeah, because you need that one other person to pull him off of Giannis, so Giannis can do his thing.
Right.
So you need someone else, some other weapon out there so that Giannis can double up the points, essentially, or that other guy, whoever that second person is going to be, and they just don't have that person to split them up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be Dame, but with him being hurt, I mean, you're looking at like a 10-month injury coming our way. So his Achilles.
Yeah. See, I understand it. I understand the game. I just don't watch it. I don't participate in it because I get too vested, man. Like my daughter was playing in a tournament this weekend, and they have it's called Game Changer. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
So I've never heard of it until this weekend.
My nephew, they use it for all their tournaments and league play down in Milwaukee. My sister's like, oh yeah, you can go on this app and it'll show you the scores of every game that's happening.
Yeah. It's amazing. And it does play-by-play too. You pick on a specific team or athlete.
Yeah, right.
And it'll tell you exactly what they're doing and the stats and it's
crazy.
Really cool. But I notice I get way too vested. I'm just way too vested in it, and it is what it is, So that's what it is with sports with me is I just get way too vested into something, and it ruins my night if they don't win or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stay away from it for the most part. I mean, I get into it here and there, but I just try to stay away. If I don't watch it, then I don't get too vested into it, But there was a while where Arena League, Arena football when it was arena, not indoor football league, when it was Arena League. Man, I got so invested into those teams. I would watch everything I possibly could. And this was prior to the internet,
okay.
Real, it wasn't prior to the internet. I'm not talking, what's that guy's name? The guy that invented the internet?
Dan.
Was it Dan? No. I can't remember his name. He was the vice president.
Yeah, I know. Al Gore.
Al Gore, there you go.
Yep.
I know he didn't invent the internet, guys. He just said he did. It wasn't that long ago, but it was just pre-YouTube. It was maybe 2005 or 6, maybe when 2006 was YouTube. Because it was in that time, 2004, 2005, 2006. But so I'd had to find ESPN the Ocho, to get the games,
Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah. All right. Do you have any thought-provoking questions? And it cannot be straw in a pudding. If it was a straw pudding, what pudding are you putting in that straw?
Oh, man. You know what? I would not choose tapioca.
Why is that a pudding, by the way?
I like tapioca pudding.
Oh, my goodness. Why?
I don't know. But I'm just thinking, the little tapiocas would clog the straw.
Oh, so little balls.
Yeah.
Okay. A boba-style tapioca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think if you get too many of those up the straw, they'll clog.
By the way, boba, that, it's oddly satisfying.
Oh, is it?
Sucking the little ball. Using the straw to pick up the boba pearls.
Okay.
It's oddly satisfying when you take a drink from the straw.
Yeah.
And it's full, and then it reminds me of what's that show where they're in the mind? It's the cartoon movie. And there's oh, what's it called? There's like every emotion.
Oh,
And
Inside
it's like
Out.
Inside Out. If it seems like, the memories of Inside Out and how they travel
Oh,
to the
yeah,
tubes.
right.
That's what it reminds me of
Okay.
when I'm eating boba. So I'm like, I'm just crushing all these memories. That's not a core memory, but it tastes like strawberry.
It just looks like Orbeez.
Yeah. They're interesting. They're interesting.
Like
If I didn't have a
Gel
teen
Shot.
daughter, I would probably never have ever touch them. But
I know the girls had like a sleepover one night and they're like, we bought boba drinks. And like they come in like a little thing and you just punch the straw.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And even the ones at the mall, when they make them fresh, they still put that little seal on it.
Oh.
Like, it seems like such a waste, but I guess that's
Perfect.
part of the experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, anyways, thought-provoking question. It is not about boba.
What is boba?
Yeah, what is boba? Something very unnatural.
No, I don't have anything right now that I can think of. It's late.
It is. We started about an hour later than we normally do, just simply because kids in sports.
Yeah. Kids in sports.
Kids in sports. Yeah. Your daughter had a game right before my daughter,
Yeah.
and it was an hour away. About that, like 45 minutes, 50 minutes away. So it's in the southern part of the county that we're in. And he went late, and both of the teams got absolutely schmammered.
Well, it's funny because after Maisie's softball game, Lulu had a soccer game at the fairgrounds at
jeez.
7 o'clock.
Oh, my.
And they ended up losing, I think, like 2-0 or maybe
Okay.
more than that. I forgot what they said the score was.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Dempsey have anything?
Just baseball practice today. They have a game against Sturgeon Bay tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a winnable game, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Sturgeon Bay doesn't seem to have very good, like, bat and ball programs.
I don't know. I guess I think softball they're okay at.
Oh, that's one of the ones that maybe in high school, I guess, but in the lower leagues, like what do they call it, the juniors,
Yeah.
or seniors, junior and senior leagues, they're usually not that good in
Oh, okay.
softball.
Interesting.
But they do have a ton of softball fields over there.
They do.
They do. It's crazy. So, anyways, with all that being said, I would say, I don't know what I'd say.
Keep it subpar.
Keep it subpar. And deuces in the sweat. Peace. Is there anything other things that we can say? We should add more logos and sign offs. And
Are we still recording?
yeah. What?